So here's the starting touch. I was ready to start from the very beginning, but you already did 90% of the work because by the end of this, I am using a verbal cue and he's doing it very intentionally. And he's doing really, really well. So here he gets so close when we sit down to train. So sometimes it's hard. So I got him in a good position this time, but sometimes I have to get up on my knees or stand up so he's not so close to me. But he's just very excited. So there I toss a treat out to get some of that space so that he has room to touch. There you go. I introduce my fingers to him. I'm not saying the word yet because, again, I'm just kind of feeling out where he's at. Okay, so there I toss a treat out, and then I present it coming back. He does touch it and get a yes, but then they both went after a carrot. So I went ahead and picked that up, and we'll start again. So here I introduce my fingers. He touches it. I mark yes, treat. I get him in sit and do it. Yep, and treat. He's so good. You can tell he gets it because, by the way, he's kind of popping at it. The first few times they do it, they just generally will smell our fingers to check out what's going on. But you can tell the way he's doing it, it's a very intentional boop. And then he snaps his head back at me for the food. So he's already made the connection of this is the behavior she's wanting, and it's very clear. And during capturing any sort of behavior, that's what I'm looking for when I add the word to it. So once I see it very intentional, that's when I will go ahead and add the verbal cue. So we add it. Oh, yes, first we gotta get cuddles, and then I add the verbal. Okay, so you'll notice on the next one, he gets a little stressed out. And so all I'm doing is leaving my fingers out, giving him about 5 seconds. Once he doesn't recover from it, I just take my hand away and represent it. I never want to use the cue touch over and over again. I don't want to move my fingers towards him. I just want to give him the time to kind of figure it out. Sometimes they will, and sometimes they won't. And when they don't, I just remove my hands and reintroduce it and ask for the behavior again. Okay, so here's us doing some drop its. Here's the first time I ask, and I have treats prepared. So once I ask for the behavior, I show him the treats. Once he lets go, he gets marked and treated for that one. Okay, we're gonna give it another go. Now that he knows what I'm asking, let's say his name. I run the other direction. Once it comes out of his mouth, I say drop it, and then we mark and treat for that. So that's going to be more like it will be in real life.
Fin, drop it, yes!
I'm going to say his name, drop it, and then we're going to run to the nearest jar. I like to do the running to the nearest cookie jar.
Drop it, yes!
Oh, that was a good one. Because I don't always have treats on me, and I want this to be a useful tool throughout the day and not just when we're training. Okay, so here we are doing a little bit of toy play. We're going to use the word drop it in this scenario as well because we really want to get him to have a good concept of what that word means. And it doesn't mean, oh, that was bad, you shouldn't have that. It just means whatever's in your mouth, let's take it out of your mouth. And there we go. He did a great job the first time I asked. I was not expecting that. But the second it comes out of his mouth, I throw another toy to make it worth it for him and make it exciting for him. But he does great. Twiggy comes in here and bothers us for a hot second until I finally remove her. But other reasons that toy play are so important is I want to set him up to interact with me with toys for lots of reasons. We want to have that relationship where we can use toys as a tool, whether for training or exercise, or just a relationship builder. But another thing is when he finds exciting things on the ground, I want him to run to me to play with me with those things. That way, it's easier to ask for a drop it, and it's easier to kind of control the situation. Um, as of now, he kind of grabs his toys and runs over to the side. He doesn't run away, he just runs to the side and chews on them. So I just encourage him to come bring those toys back to me to engage with me versus just engaging by himself. So here I am just showing him, like, oh, we have more toys over here. He brings it over. Lovely. Oh, and there we go. He did so good. You'll notice I'll also try to ask him in the end here for a sit to see what we can do for the toys to kind of use those toys as a reward and use them as a tool for us. We do a little bit of tug. Oh, he got my finger. But these aren't the best tug toys to do. They're so small. But we do a little bit of tug. I do a little bit of chase. Any kind of toy play that's fun. I brought out initially when I first sat down with him on his first day a few toys to see what kind he kind of liked at my house. Brought some ropes and big stuffed animals and small ones and rubber ones and balls, and he seems to love, and it seems to be pretty universal, which I kind of find funny, these teeny tiny stuffed toys. All the dogs love them that I have. It's very weird. But I'm not sure if you have any or if he has the same reaction to them at your house. But these just like teeny tiny mini stuffed toys dogs go nuts for. His favorite one is the brown pretzel. He thinks that is the best toy ever. And we're just having fun. There's no real strict rule of what exactly we should be doing. I just want to kind of use all those elements to create a session that he's going to get something out of. And that was beautiful. But he's a lot of fun. Okay, so here I had to shift some dogs in and out of the house and do a couple things, and I decided to use that as training situation, both for him and honestly my puppy too. That's him in the back, and just a little bit of barrier frustration training, a little bit of socialization, passive socialization, and things like that. And he did well. He got excited to see them, but he was definitely able to take treats and kind of just like chill out, settle, do a few behaviors. We walked away. Obviously, it sped up, so we walked away a little bit longer, and he was sniffing around the house. He grabbed a toy at a certain point, and he was fine kind of existing with Boom on the other side of the gate. Boom's usually really awful with dogs on the other side of the gate too, so it was good time to sit down and kind of toss him treats as well. Okay, so here's Finn kind of struggling being in the X pen, and this is one of the options I like to use when puppies are having a hard time. Sometimes I will just ignore if they are in the right mindset to kind of self-soothe eventually. And then sometimes I'll step in like this. So that orange ball behind us has food in it. So I go ahead and kind of just try to show him that there is something in there so that he can start interacting with it on his own. So I'm trying my best to not be completely part of the session. I'm not saying silly sounds and trying to play. I'm just rolling it around until food comes out so he kind of gets the idea. And then he starts to bat it around with his feet as well, which is awesome. So he's doing a really good job kind of playing with it. So I stand up and it kind of pulls him out of that, and he does a little bit of whining. So I go ahead and get the toy. I reintroduce it to him. I'm again trying to take myself out of this situation as much as I can, but he is still kind of upset. So I have one foot on one side of the gate. I know you can't see me, and then the other foot on the other side of the gate. So I'm still half in, and he's a little upset. But he went ahead and laid down, so I decided to bring out that topple, which is a frozen topple with canned food and a few other snacks in there. And as soon as he laid down, I wanted to give him that kind of jackpot toy because that's what I want in the end. I want him to kind of lay down and rest. And then also that toy was good to keep him distracted when I left the room, because it was a little more high value than the other kibble and the other puzzle toy. And here we're just doing some of that passive socialization with the kids. I'm asking for a few behaviors. I'm marking for just kind of ignoring. And we're just working on being on one side of the gate when exciting things are going on the other side of the gate. Work on some of our touch. And he does amazing. And I'm moving my fingers much further away from his nose than in the beginning, so we don't have to have it super close to him anymore. We can kind of start playing with distance and him walking towards it. I don't want to get too far because it is still new behavior, but he does very well with it. So we can kind of start making it a little bit more challenging.